Chun Yasin Shanis, and I'm a freshman mass communications major at VCU. This here is my banned book virtual readout in commemoration of Banned Books Week and for my MassComm 101 class. The book I chose is Of Mice and Men by John Steinbeck, which I read in my sophomore year English class in high school. Of Mice and Men was banned by some schools and libraries in the U.S. for promoting euthanasia and because of its use of profanity. It was banned from May 1983 to 1984 and also from 1993 to 1994. I'll be touching on its use of profanity. Here's what I believe. Of course, the language used in the book is bad at times, but that kind of language was common back then. I believe the language added to the book's authenticity and gave it more passion or more intensity. Also, profane words are not words that I didn't already know at the time I read this book, and I'm sure reading the book didn't encourage me to use more profanity than I already did. Okay, so the passage I'll be reading starts on page 868 and displays the use of profanity. Please enjoy. Old Candy watched him go. He looked helplessly back at Curly's wife, and gradually his sorrow and his anger grew into words. "You goddamn tramp," he said viciously. "You done it, didn't you? I suppose you're glad. Everybody knowed you'd mess things up. You wasn't no good. You ain't no good now, you lousy tart." He sniveled and his voice shook. "I could have hoed in the garden and washed dishes for them guys." He paused and then went on in a sing-song. And he repeated the old words. "If they was a circus or a baseball game, we would have went to her. Just said to hell with work and went to her. Never asked nobody say so, and they'd have been a pig and chickens. And in the winter, the little fat stove, and the rain coming, and us just sitting there." His eyes blinded with tears, and he turned and went weakly out of the barn. He rubbed his bristly whiskers with his wrist stump. Outside, the noise of the game stopped. There was a rise of voices in question, a drum of running feet, and the men burst into the barn. Slim and Carlson and young Whit and Curly and Crooks keeping back out of attention range. Candy came after them, and last of all, George. George had put on his blue denim coat and buttoned it, and his black hat was pulled down low over his eyes. The men raced around the last stall. Their eyes found Curly's wife in the gloom. They stopped and stood still and looked. Then Slim went over quietly to her, and he felt her wrist. One lean finger touched her cheek, and then his hand went under her slightly twisted neck, and his fingers explored her neck. When he stood up, the men crowded near the spell, and the spell was broken. Curly came suddenly to life. "I know who done it," he cried. "That big son of a bitch done it. I know he done it. Why everybody else out there playing horseshoes?" He worked himself into a fury. "I'm gonna get him. I'm going for my shotgun. I'll kill that big son of a bitch myself. I'll shoot him in the guts. Come on, you guys." He ran furiously out of the barn, Carlson said. "I'll get my Luger," and he ran out too. That's it. All in all, John Steinbeck is an incredible author and did a great job on this book. And never should have been banned. And the book never should have been banned, considering it's one of the very few books that were in our high school curriculum that I actually enjoyed reading. Also, it serves so much educational value. Thanks. I hope you enjoyed it. Bye.